is simply that if you're passionate about it and you want to make money on it, you got to think again. Because just because you think payphones are really cool, if there's no market for them, but if you think they're really cool, I have 10 in my garage. There's something called cell phones that have come in. That's another little $50,000 drain. But if you want some cell phones because you think you're passionate about them, let me know. But then the question is there a market? So there's a real balancing act of right brain, left brain kind of thinking that we all have to go through. But I want to talk a little bit more about detaching from the environment, because things couldn't be really worse. I'm not doing much speaking right now. I don't know if anybody is. But I've been so buried in this and some other projects. There's no income. I have 4 mortgages, and I'm moving ahead. And I have no backups other than I changed my thinking to do well in the market. And with all of that, I just spent the last $10,000 on the books. I've wired it away. And this baby already, nobody has ordered just 1. They have ordered 4, at least 4 of everyone. I know it's going to happen. So it's all about resilience, about bounceability. And in my book, Winning, and by the way, you know what inspired this? 2 of my own books, Why Cats Don't Bark, which is on your soul's code and your calling. If you don't know what your calling or your purpose or your mission in life is, get the book. Then I write Winning, and I interviewed all kinds of people that were winners and climbed higher mountains. And I thought, oh my gosh, everybody in Winning had a flash of greatness at a young age. They all knew their purpose in life, whether it was Tiger Woods or Wynton Marsalis or Michael Jordan, you name it. They all were clear on their calling between the ages of about 3 and 7, which is based on Harvard research. So what I thought was, oh my gosh, what about all the little children that don't have the flash of greatness? That's what the program is for, so that no child is ever left behind. And that's when equality in life comes all about. It's when your thinking changes. Equality isn't about religion or creed or color. It's all about what's right up here. So it's a matter of detaching. But one of the people in Winning was Bonnie St. John. She's a speaker as well. And she said, you know, Edie, I was black. I had 1 leg. She had cancer. They just lopped it off in those days. And she didn't have any money. And a white gal, this is in California, with lots of money, and 2 legs came up and said, do you want to go skiing? And she said, oh, are you going to cut me off already? No. Oh, okay, good. Okay. As speakers, we're real sensitive to anyone. And so anyway, this gal asked her to go skiing. She had only 1 leg, and back in those days, people didn't believe it was possible. She thought it was less than a year later. She was skiing in the Paralympics in Austria, and the interesting thing is, there was a patch of ice. And you know what? We all have patches of ice in our life. Is that not true? I'm getting my fair share right now. You better be getting a few of them. So, and she said, you know, Edie, I skied the fastest, but I didn't get the gold. And I'm like, how did this happen? And guess what she said? There's a patch of ice. 50% of the people dropped out of the race. I'm going to tell you right now, if you drop out of the race, you'll never win. You're never going to get the gold. And she said, the other 50%, well, I skied the fastest, but I didn't get the gold because I didn't get back up as quickly. So the bottom line is, you know, when life gives you a lemon, make lemonade, but do it quickly, because it ain't forever. It is how fast you get back on that horse and start riding again, because time marches on, whether you march forward or not. So you got to detach from it. Some of you know Jeffrey Gitomer. I had him in the book. And he said, you know, Edie, I've been broke, but I've never been down. That's the difference. You don't let your outside events dictate where you're going and the fulfillment of your destiny. So once you understand the bounceability and the resilience and all of that good stuff, you're a possibility thinker. You sweeten the lemonade. I want to give you a couple examples of what I did to sweeten the lemonade. I have built 6 times. Okay, I have built 6 times. And the last house took 3 years, the one I'm still trying to sell. I have a feeling there's going to be a spiritual awakening when that house is signed. Come to my little cottage. We will have more than lemonade. And so what I thought I would do, I thought, you know what, I need $1 million right now because it's hard to get loans. I need cash. I got to make $1 million. I'm writing a book called What Most Builders Won't Tell Women or Men. We already have Ace Hardware interested. We're going after Lowe's and Home Depot. Hey, you do the math. if they buy 1 million copies, I don't have to make a lot of dollars per copy. And we will have more than lemonade and more than the cottage. And it'll be out within a couple of weeks. Do you see what I'm saying? And this is the kind of thinking that you need. It just keeps expanding. The next book is what most financial advisors won't tell you. You don't think people are going to buy it after Madoff? Ooh, who else is skeptical? What most lawyers won't tell you. So there is going to be, you know what I mean? It only begins. And that's the kind of thinking that when you leave today, that I hope you have taken with me, or taken with you, but I want to share where I stole the thing. On the fear and the faith. I'm thinking about my friend who thinks she's got rights to Caleb the Caterpillar. I'm thinking about all the money I got to send to China today. I'm thinking about all this stuff and thinking, poor me. You know what? It's not only perception, it's perspective. There's a CSP link. It's kind of like a speaker's chat. And I just saw this literally before I ran out of the door. Listen to this. Over the last 2 months, the cancer in my right lung has grown, and the cancer has spread into my left lung as well. There are also new spots just under the skin on my back, right leg, left arm. The doctors are being less than optimistic, again, to say the least. In short, the cancer is on the move and growing quickly. I'm not going to read all this to you, but this gentleman is quite young and he has young children. My children are like 40. These kids are like 10. Not a fun time to have to say goodbye. And then he talks about the side effects that he might have if he has treatment, such as autoimmune disorder, leukemia, and not surviving the treatment. And I've got problems. I'll take sleeping in the boat any day. So he goes on to say, listen, I am very grateful for your friendship, your faith, your support over the past years. And then he goes on to say, I know my family's challenges are no greater than those in anyone else's life. And we appreciate the valuable lessons we've learned along the way. You think you've got problems? It's not only perception, it's perspective. And that's when he said his wife keeps telling him, fear and faith are not compatible in the same heart. And then he finishes with, my family has been so blessed with amazing time together. My mother's going to be 100. This guy's getting cut short. And all he can talk about is what he's grateful for. Shame on me. So in conclusion, I just want to share the words of the Rabbi Hillel. If I am not for myself, who will be for me? If I am not for others, what am I? If not now, when? Thank you.